Transformers Earthspark is a phenomenal animated series and a great addition to the Transformers franchise. It's a show that's not just rich with great themes and messages for all ages, but is also just a lot of fun to watch, from its charming characters to the hype action scenes. However, the angle I want to focus on in this analysis video is the main character faction of the Terans and how they work as a great metaphor for oppressed groups like immigrants and how that connected with me. First, some context on who the Terans are. They're Transformers who aren't born on Cybertron, but born on Earth. They initially feel disconnected from their Cybertronian roots, starting off being more interested about Earth customs before getting knowledge on Cybertron lore later in the show. This new faction of characters really spoke to me, not just for their endearing personality traits, but on how they represented the core themes of Earthspark, being acceptance and identity. Identity is pretty clear-cut, as the Terans aren't quite Cybertronian, but not quite human, meaning they must strike a balance between the two sides of their origin along with their choice of picking their alt mode, which leads into the theme of acceptance, coming in the form of both accepting yourself and accepting others, which is a brilliant narrative move to make in one of the few Transformers shows where the Decepticons aren't the primary antagonist, along with Megatron being redeemed as a good guy by the first episode's start. This isn't just a cool element from the IDW comics the showrunners decide to adapt, it's an extension of the themes of coexistence that this series preaches. Now, this is where my story comes in and why the show connected with me. You see, my parents immigrated from America with Palestinian roots, where they proceed to have me in America. I'm Arab, I'm Muslim, I have that Palestinian connection, but growing up I didn't think much of it. I still do Muslim things, I pray, I fast during Ramadan, but from the environment I was growing up in, I felt that identity didn't matter in the American public school system, especially since I was white passing. It didn't help that the media I consumed at the time featured mostly white guys with little to no positive diverse representation of Arab or Muslim folks. For lack of a better word, I felt my identity be whitewashed by the world around me. It wasn't until middle or high school where I heard about the Muslim superhero from Marvel named Kamala Khan that I truly felt represented in the media I experienced. Now, Earthspark doesn't explicitly have any Arab or Muslim representation, but that doesn't mean it's not empathetic to people like me. These themes of identity and coexistence with others are universal to a lot of people who feel disconnected from their cultural roots or themselves. It can connect to offsprings of immigrants like me, trans people, or anyone who feels lost in the world. I mean, the main human family who helped the Terans in the show are people of color, and that wasn't unintentional, I guarantee you. While I'm grateful I grew up with Transformers Animated, it's still one of my favorite shows of all time, a part of me wishes I grew up with Earthspark instead, for how much it connected with me, both as a son of immigrants and as someone who's unsure about their gender. It's just nice to have a show for all ages that explores these themes in an accessible way for its audience to go further with it on their own time. Stuff like this makes Earthspark one of my favorite Transformers shows, and it's a show you should definitely check out if you haven't already.